Hey everybody, this is Doug with Artfully Road. So recently I fabricated and installed a couple of doors here in a local hotel. I shot the video and then posted it not long ago. That actually piqued the interest, I guess, of a few of my subscribers, and they wanted to know how I actually did the finish on those doors. You might be surprised how easy it actually is. So let's start with the metal. I'm just using a couple of scrap pieces of metal, and it doesn't really matter what thickness these metal pieces are or even what kind of finish they are. You're going to be painting them, not staining, not adding a patina, but actually taking spray paint and painting them. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you remove any of the oils. So take a degreaser. I happen to have a glass cleaner on hand, and that removes any oils or any residue that's actually on the metal. So the doors that I fabricated, we had a color theme to go with. We had blues and purples. Now, I used up all the purple on their doors, but I do have a deep blue, and I still have some of the light blue left. So it should be enough to do what we're gonna do. I start with the lightest color first, the light blue. All right, and you wanna give a light dusting, which means hold your spray can probably a good 12 to 14 inches away from the material, and then just give it a spray. Shake it while you do that. And as you can see, it's starting to hit that steel. Where you first push your trigger down is where it starts and gets a little dark, and then it will actually spider out a little bit. I guess, you know, splatter out or whatever you want to call it. But then you take your darker color, and you want to do the same thing. Just give it a little bit of a dusting. And you can actually change the pattern of your hands a little bit so you can bring in some of those blues in certain areas. And if you happen to get a blue that may be a little too much, go back with your other lighter color, and you can bring that down a little bit. Let that dry. Okay, for the next step in this process, you want to use some regular household vinegar. I just put it in a regular spray bottle so that I can use it how I need to. Get the ones that have an adjustable nozzle, because you want this to go out in a fine mist. So I've got you zoomed in here because this process actually is going to take a little bit of time. So we're going to give this a light mist all over 3 panels, and then just let that sit. As the first misting dries, go back and give it another light misting. And let that dry. All right, so it's been about 20 minutes since I first started spraying the vinegar, and I am going to try to zoom in here nice and slow. And you're going to see some texture starting to build. Let's pan you around over here. Some of that texture that's starting to come into place with that vinegar. Once you get to a point where the vinegar has kind of done what you needed it to do, I would say you seal it with a clear lacquer. Now I use a brand from Deft. It says wood finish, but it also works on metal. I picked this up at Home Depot, and this is a semi-gloss. So it doesn't really matter what type of lacquer you use, but you need to basically seal it to close the oxygen off to the vinegar and the rust and whatnot, and that'll stop the process. But yeah, so once this is done, seal it with the lacquer, and you're good to go. So I hope that's helped. I hope that gives you an idea about how the finish was created on the doors. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, then please do so now. And I want to reach out and say thank you to my top Patreon supporters, Barry and Marlene Rush, Judy Clothier, and of course, Fun Kiss Artistic Creations. We'll see you guys in the next video.